So you're looking into building a budget pedal board for this new year. Stay on this video and I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. Okay, let's get a little bit of my juice. I like Arizona. Not just the state, but the drink. Pretty good. Welcome to this video where I build a budget pedal board. And before that, I want to show you this guitar because the pedal board was inspired by this guitar. It was given to me about 10 months ago, and this is an amazing guitar. So I decided to start buying some overdrives, and then I realized that I started building a pedal board. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it on a budget if I'm going to have a secondary pedal board, and it has to cost me less than what I paid for the HX Stomp XL. That one I bought it new. All right, so let me show you my pedal board real quick. Let me go here and show you. So I've been playing with this board for a few months already, and as you can see, it's just attached with zip ties. And the reason was that I wasn't sure if I was going to keep some of these pedals or I was going to swap them out, which I did. I've been swapping, putting pedals in, and a bunch of stuff. And I think this is the final version of it. Let me go through the signal chain and the stomp boxes that I'm using. The first stomp box is called Pressure Point by a company called Caline. This stomp box is less than 60 bucks. I think I got it for 50 in Amazon. And I'm very impressed by this stomp box because it's super transparent. And the compression, you can go to really heavy compression to very mild compression, and the tone of your guitar still cuts through the signal chain, and that's amazing for a very budget-friendly compressor. Then from there it goes into this clone. This is a clone of a stomp box called the Dualist. If you can see, it has that vibe, even though the knobs are in different position, and that's great. But the amazing thing about this stomp box is that inside you can run it in series, parallel, or you can change if you want this overdrive going to this one or the second section going to the first one. It's not the same. It doesn't sound the same as a Dualist, but it's very, very dynamic, and it's got its own little thing going on. Now, inside you can do a lot of routing, and you can change the settings, especially the direction which you want the overdrives to work. And I believe, if I'm not wrong, you can run them in parallel or in series. Parallel means just that each distortion goes through the output without being stacked together. And the other mode, you can run the first section into the second one or the second section to the first overdrive. This stomp box is very British sounding, and what I mean is it sounds like a very distorted or very crunchy Vox AC30 to a Marshall JTM 45 or not 800, but you can get there with a combination of the two stomp boxes, the two distortion, the two overdrives, and you get a nice creamy distortion that is very British sounding. And then from here it goes into another famous stomp box. Now this is based on or similar to the Double Barrel by a very prestigious company and very well known in the worship community. This is the clone of a version 4 of the Double Barrel, and basically the first circuit is Moonshine and the second one is a Morning Glory, and you still have the input for the remote for the Morning Glory to push it into the third position of the overdrive or third stage. So this one is actually 3 overdrives in one. You can run the first section into the second one or the second one into the first one, and I don't think you can run it in series or parallel, which it's okay. I really like this pedal, but I would consider this pedal if you want that more Fender tone. At least this stomp box sounds a little bit that way, but I think it's amazing. You're gonna love this. You're gonna love this stomp box. And then from here it goes into this overdrive. I have 3 overdrives or 3 dual overdrives, but this is very mild. Now this one here, it's called the Andes, and it's also by the same company as the compressor, which is called Caline. Now I like this stomp box for the reason that you have two modes to run it. One's the green, one is the red. And what that means is that you have an overdrive and you have a boost. Now the boost only has one knob, but the overdrive is based, at least it says it's based on a Teamy Deluxe, and is a very transparent. I'm not sure if it sounds like a Teamy, but it sounds beautiful. I really like how it saturates the amplification I'm using, at least the model, the amplification that I'm using. It sounds beautiful. This just brings it alive and gives me this beautiful natural breakup. And the voice, what it does is, if you have it in the green button, the boost goes after the overdrive, and if you press this button, the boost goes before the overdrive, and it pushes this overdrive into a more heavier overdrive. I think this is also another great addition to this pedal board. You don't have to get all three, but I would recommend you to at least start with a good compressor and the Andes, so you get a feeling for it, and then you decide whether you want something that is a little bit more British sounding or a little bit more American sounding. Okay, from there it goes into my volume pedal, and then from here it goes into these two stomp boxes right here in the corner. So the first stomp box here, it's an amp modeler, and the second one is a cabinet, speaker, and tube or power tube section emulator. And the combination of the two is amazing. You don't have to get both of them, but if you only get the amp, they come with their cabinets, but you can't change the microphone, you can't change the position of the microphone, and you cannot select what kind of tubes you want the cabinet to be pushed by. I mean, the power tube section of an amp to be pushing the speaker. I really like the combination of the two. Now, you can also load impulse responses into the binary cab. You cannot do it in the binary amp modeler, but you don't need to. You can use something like this, and this is the last pedal of the signal chain. This is called the HX effects, which is also a helix, but it's a helix just for effects. That's the name, HX effects. It's completely different than the HX stump, but I think it has a lot of potential. If you already have, let's say, a tube amp, you could literally just grab the HX stump and have everything, because this has distortions, it has overdrives, it has every effect on the helix line or in the helix environment, and it could be everything you need, and you can have 8 blocks to do whatever you want. You can have them in stereo, and you can also load impulse responses into this if you have some kind of preamp or an amp modeler to fit the cabinet, and you can use the HX effects as the section that has your cabinets and microphones, which it has a lot of potential. Now, I said that this board was a budget-friendly board, and you might think, well, that's a lot of stomp boxes. Well, hear me out for a second. You don't have to get all these stomp boxes. If I have to go bare bones, and let's say I only can have 4 stomp boxes from here, this is what I would do. First of all, I'll have the HX stump. I'll have number 2, I will have the Andes. Number 3, I will have the amp modeler, and I will choose one of these two. I lean a little bit more of the Little Rock just because I like the sound better, but any of these two will be amazing. And then later on down the road, you can add a compressor that would make it sound beautiful. All right, let's see how it sounds, and let's start with my guitar. Just clean signal chain. There's nothing on it. Let me make sure there's nothing. And it sounds like this. That's the bridge pickup, which it has a little mini humbucker. Then you have your second position, which is middle and humbucker. Third position, which is the middle pickup. Fourth position, which is the neck and the middle. And lastly, the neck pickup on the guitar. I really like this guitar. It gets me mixed feelings because it does give me a little bit of a vibe of a Telecaster, but it also feels a little bit like a Strat in the middle position. But that little humbucker just makes it stand out, and I really like it. I love inlays, and I love that it's hollow because it doesn't weigh a lot. It's actually very light, and yeah, it's very retro looking. I really like it. Anyways, okay, let's go with this first overdrive, and it sounds something like this. Second channel, it sounds something like this. It's very, very nice. You can change the settings of each one of them. You can put them more trebly, stock, and a little bit more mids, and a little bit more bass. Each one of them respond differently. Very little gain because the model of the binary amp is very responsive to the signal. I really like it. It responds like a tube amp should. It's amazing what technology nowadays can do. All right, let's go to the Double Super OD version 4, and the first channel sounds like this. I really like this section of the pedal because you can play with the clean, and what it does, it lets you have more of the signal in plus with the overdrive. So I think it's really cool. I'm really liking this section of this pedal, which is a Moonshine. Let's go into the second one, which is the Morning Glory. Sounds like this. That's actually pretty cool. I like it as well. And you can play with the settings. You got two different gains. You know, I have it on the red, but you can put it on the blue, which is very mild. And you can select into the third one, which it puts the two gains together, I believe. Also, you can do the same with the Moonshine. I have it in the minus setting, but you can put it in the plus setting. Okay, now let's talk about this overdrive over here. Let me show you the clean. Okay, and it sounds like this. Okay, so now I can put the boost. Right now the boost is going before the overdrive, and if I hit that, it sounds more aggressive. Okay, so let's put it into the green, and it sounds like this. And if we hit the boost, it's going to be cleaner. So it's a different kind of clipping. After the boost, I like it the best, just because I have this overdrives to push the front. But if I didn't, and I only had this stomp box, I would leave it on the red, and you gave me two different kind of distortions, just like kind of like this, but not really. I like this better just because you can do a lot more. With this, you only have one type of distortion, and you can push it either cleanly, or you can push it, you can saturate it more with the boost. All right, so let's go into the HX effects. Everybody knows what they do. I got my delays, my reverbs, but very quickly, I'm gonna do 70s chorus, a little bit of the Cosmos echo, and I have very mild tube compression at the end. And it will sound something like this. Alright, this is on. Let me turn those two off and let me just do a little bit of the Andes. Now let's push it. All right, I went a little bit old school there, but I think it's great. You can do a lot of things with it. You can use it differently here with this other overdrive. Let's just say that's what you like. And that is pretty cool. I like it. And you can start using like paintbrushes. You can start painting whatever you want your guitar to sound like. And let's just say there's another guitar player and your tones are kind of the same. Well, you can change it up. You can throw it over here and you can throw it over here, or you can combine this one with this one and also this one, and then you have endless possibilities. Even with two of these, you have everything that you need to cover with distortions, and they sound really good. That's what I really like about these stomp boxes. Thank you for staying at the end of this video. If you like the content that I'm creating and you want to help me, in the description below there's a link to my shop where I have a bunch of IRs for you. Now, I'm going to have AC30 silverback, AC30 blueback. The silverback is from a 68 model. The blueback is from a 70, I think it's a 73 model. It was amazing. Also, I have a DC30, matchless DC30 from a 1996 DC30 matchless, a 1959 Tweet Deluxe with a Jensen, and a I think it was a 1969 twin reverb. Oh no, reverb deluxe with a Jensen C12N and a C12K, I believe. Also, there's impulse responsive for bass player, SBT Pro 8x10 and SBT Pro 4x10 with some microphones. It's going to be in the description. And if you play acoustic guitar, there's also impulse responses of a few of my favorite guitars. Martin D28, Hummingbird, Gibson Hummingbird. Can I say Gibson? Yeah, a Hummingbird, a J45, a Taylor 814, and a 314. Did I say Martin? Yeah, Martin D28, and that's going to expand the tone of your acoustic guitar. Also, if you have an electric guitar that has a piezo and you want to use it as an acoustic guitar, you can model your electric guitar with that piezo to sound more like an acoustic guitar. All right, friends, stay tuned for more videos. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell so YouTube lets you know every time I make new videos. And with that in mind, I'll see you in another video. Take care, my friends. Ciao. Okay. All right, I don't get sound. Right, so if you plug in your guitar into the pedal board, it might work better, right? You still here? Well, why don't you follow me on Instagram at C8MusicGear in Instagram. I'll show you a little bit of what the picture looks like, and I have a bunch of stuff in there. All right, go and follow me and show me your gear. I want to know what you're using. Give me new ideas. Thank you very much. Especially help me how to play better. If you can send me tutorials, that would be great. I want to learn more. Bye. Adios.